1:04 a.m. Operation Theatre lights. The hospital corridor lay silent, washed in a pale blue glow. The hum of machines, Wyan peeled off her gloves, the stench of antiseptic clinging to her skin, to her hair, to her bones. Her back screamed after 3 consecutive surgeries. Her fingers trembled from exhaustion. Her eyes felt grainy, burning from the harsh OT lights. She slumped onto a bench and unlocked her phone. The bright screen nearly blinded her. 12 missed calls from Jungkook, her husband. Her heart dropped. Oh God, the anniversary! She shot up instantly, grabbed her bag, and rushed to the parking lot. The moment she sat in the car, her hands shook around the steering wheel. Please don't be angry, please. The drive home felt longer than any surgery. She quickly parked the car. When she pushed the door open, the sight stole all the air from her lungs. Soft fairy lights glowed faintly. The candles and melted into shapeless puddle of wax. Rose petals lay scattered across the floor. The cake sat on the table. Their initials written perfectly in white icing, untouched. Her throat tightened painfully. Her voice was breaking. Cookie? No answer, just silence and darkness. She stepped further inside. Their framed pictures smiled at her. Anniversaries, trips, silly selfies, everything he had waited with, alone. She walked into the bedroom. It was beautifully decorated. Then she heard it, the faint sound of running water. Her heart dropped again. She followed the sound. The bathroom door was slightly ajar. Steam curled out lazily. His clothes lay neatly folded on the bed. Wyan forced a tiny laugh, though guilt was crushing her chest. Always forgetting your clothes. She knocked on the door gently. Jungkook? Baby? I'm home, she said with a breaking voice, but the water didn't stop. Then she pushed the door open and stepped in. There he was, her husband Jungkook, stood under the shower, head bowed, water streaming over his tense shoulder. His back rose and fell slowly, too slowly. He hadn't even heard her come in. He looked defeated. She stepped inside cautiously. Cookie, I'm so sorry. His jaw and fist clenched, but he didn't look at her. I waited. That single sentence was heavier than any anger. Vaya's eyes filled instantly at his low tone. She reached for him, placing her palm over his bare shoulders. I know, baby. I didn't mean to. Patients came, surgeries. Jungkook finally lifted his gaze. His eyes were wet, not from the water. You could have called once. She broke then, tears slipping down her cheek. You're right. I should have. I'm sorry. Please look at me. He swallowed, staring at her like she was both his weakness and his home. Do you even know how long I sat there? Waiting for the door to open, waiting for you. She stepped closer, placing her hand on his cheek. Let me make it up to you, please. I prepared everything in just the way you liked. Your favorite colors, aesthetics, even the cake. She couldn't hold on when he removed her hand from his shoulders. She looked down and started sobbing silently. But Jungkook spoke in a stern voice. Your tears won't make your punishment any less, he said, and pulled her in the shower along with him. Her warm skin shivered under the cold water, but his wet skin was somehow giving her warmth. Her eyes widened and she gasped at the sudden pull, her hands resting on his chest. And that's when their eyes met. A wave of dread passed through her bones as she looked at his red, swollen eyes, which were carrying anger, hurt, pain, but the hunger was dominating all the emotions. That predatory look, she felt exposed. Her clothes now drenched, perfectly outlining her curves. Environment quickly changed to heated one, more like a silence before storm. What are you doing, Cookie? She said in trembling voice. He tucked her closer, pressing her soft chest against his hard one. This is a special occasion. I wanted to celebrate in your style, but now I'll do it in my way. Hold yourself together, my tigress. And before she could understand anything, his lips were grazing the delicate skin of her neck, kissing, biting, sucking, licking, and wrinking the water running down her skin, her eyes shut tight in a pure bliss, her body relaxing. All the exhaustion and tiredness was melting in his touch, and her head fell back, exposing her neck for him to feed on. He smirked and looked down at the only piece of cloth keeping him sane. Happy anniversary, she said, and kissed his cheek before taking off every piece of his sanity. Let's celebrate, she said, and jumped on him, wrapping her legs around his torso. Jungkook smirked and pushed her against the wall. How many lives you saved today? The question came totally unexpected. She blinked. Come on, just tell me. 3. Why? Jungkook smirked and leaned in, whispering in the husky, deep voice, his lips brushing her earlobe. So my baby's gonna get rewarded for it. Congratulations, honey. You have won 3 rounds. She was too stunned to speak. And before she could say anything, her lips were sealed by his, driving her away from everything and giving her the release and escape in the best way possible. Time skip. After 3 hours, they ended up in the bed, breathing heavily. Afterglow was decorating their skin. Best anniversary ever. Ryan chuckled and laid on him. Thank God, I thought I ruined it. We have a whole day to celebrate. Ryan smiled and got up, wrapping the blankets around her, and brought the cake from the living room. Let's cut the cake. Jungkook smiled and they both cut the cake. Then fed each other. This is how their night became memorable. Things don't always go as planned. It's all up to you to make them right.